In the summer of 1968, American reconnaissance aircraft spotted something unusual in the jungle west of Khe Sanh. Hidden beneath a thick canopy, it appeared that North Vietnamese troops were building a new supply road connected to the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Within days, U.S. Marines were flying into the remote border region. Waiting for them were entrenched North Vietnamese forces determined to defend the route. The Marines would endure some of the most intense fighting of the Vietnam War. And as the casualties mounted, the anger began to set in. The fighting would take place near the Laotian border in an area known as the Vietnam Salient, where South Vietnam briefly extended west into Laos. The terrain was dense jungle broken by steep hills and narrow valleys. It was ideal ground for hidden supply routes and concealed troop movements. For American commanders near Khe Sanh, the discovery of the road suggested that North Vietnamese forces were expanding their logistics network in the region. To destroy the road and engage enemy forces defending it, the U.S. 3rd Marine Division launched Operation Robin in early June 1968. Marine infantry would be inserted by helicopter south of Route 9. Their mission was to locate North Vietnamese units operating in the area and destroy the newly discovered supply route. Before the landings began, American aircraft and artillery struck the jungle heavily. Attack aircraft and B-52 bombers pounded suspected enemy positions, while Marine artillery fired thousands of rounds into the surrounding hills. On June 2nd, Marine infantry were flown by helicopter into a landing zone southeast of Khe Sanh. From there, they began moving through the jungle toward Route 9, searching for enemy forces. Additional Marine units were flown into nearby landing zones to support the operation. As helicopters approached one of the new landing zones deeper in the jungle, they came under small arms and mortar fire from North Vietnamese troops hidden in the surrounding hills. Despite the fire, the Marines secured the landing zone and began searching the area. Early on June 4th, North Vietnamese troops launched an attack against Marine positions. The fighting lasted several hours before the attackers withdrew. 2 days later, a larger North Vietnamese force attacked again. Marine artillery and airstrikes pounded enemy positions while infantry fought to hold their lines. More than 100 North Vietnamese soldiers were reported killed during the battle. Because of continued enemy attacks, Marine commanders decided to evacuate the landing zone. As helicopters lifted the last Marines out, one transport helicopter was hit by anti-aircraft fire and crashed. 13 Marines were killed. While fighting continued in the north, other Marine units moved deeper into the jungle and discovered the newly constructed supply road. The road was well built, nearly 20 feet wide in places, with culverts crossing streams and jungle canopy tied together above it to conceal it from aircraft. Along the road, the Marines discovered bunkers, supply depots, kitchens, and medical stations. For several days, Marine units moved along the route destroying everything they found. Bunkers were blown apart, supplies were burned, sections of the road were demolished to prevent further use. On June 15th, Marines operating near the village of Lang Hole came under heavy attack before dawn. North Vietnamese troops struck Marine positions and briefly penetrated the defensive lines. Close-range fighting broke out as artillery and helicopter gunships were called in to support the Marines. After several hours of combat, the North Vietnamese withdrew. More than 200 enemy soldiers were reported killed. Marine losses were 16 dead and dozens wounded. Over the next several days, North Vietnamese forces launched additional attacks on Marine positions. One night, assault broke through part of a Marine perimeter before artillery fired anti-personnel rounds directly into the attacking troops. The barrage forced the attackers to withdraw. Another Marine position was attacked on June 18th. With airstrikes and artillery support, the Marines repelled the attack after a day of fighting. Operation Robin ended on June 19th as Marine units withdrew toward Khe Sanh. American forces reported more than 600 North Vietnamese soldiers killed during the operation. Large sections of the supply road and numerous enemy facilities had been destroyed. Although Operation Robin damaged the supply route and inflicted heavy losses, the border region near Laos remained one of the most difficult areas of the war. The jungle terrain allowed North Vietnamese forces to rebuild their logistics network and move troops through the mountains beyond American reach. Operations along the Khe Sanh frontier would continue long after the Marines left the area.